Okay, so let's talk about the colors that I'm going to use to create the patina effect on our Conan piece here. Now, obviously, Conan right now looks like he's fresh from the factory molds there, fresh out of the bronze factory, and so he's really bright and shiny. What I want to do is stick him out in the yard for about 15 or 20 years and really get that nice patina building up on him. Well, obviously, I can't do that, so what I'm going to have to do is fake it, of course. And so the products that I'm going to use here, all acrylic based. Pretty much everything I do with these statues is acrylic based. Occasionally I will step over into the oil based, but just whatever works for me. And this is what I personally have at hand right now to create this effect. And I've used these before with some great success, so why fix it if it's not broken? So what I'm going to start with is the three greens here. Now I have three different levels of this green. They all fall, at least these two, fall in the same family here. This is a Victorian green, and this is a sage green. And they are almost identical as far as the hue goes. The sage may have just a touch more blue in it. But you have a very, very light color, and this I'll actually use as a finishing piece. But this one is the sage green is the one I'll be using in my mixture, in my wash to create my patina. So I'm going to take that, and then I have a little bit of a hunter green here. Now, hunter green, I don't know, it's kind of a nice medium dark green. It has some yellow in it, but it has a lot of blue in it as well, and that's really what I'm looking for, is that blue patina. So I'll use that to help darken it down a little bit more. I'll use that very sparingly. But at the core here, I've got to get something that will darken this sage green down and also add that aged bronze look to it. So in typical fashion with a wash, I'm going to use the Future Floor Wax along with some water, and then I'm going to use some black here. I've just got some Mars Black here, and then some, this is a burnt umber here. Two of my favorite colors for creating washes of pretty much any kind. I always start with that, and that way I create kind of a muddy black color or really dark color there, and then I can start throwing in pigments in here such as the greens to have it lean one way or the other. So anyway, that's what I'm going to end up doing with this. I'm going to mix up this stuff in a nice little slurry here and then apply it to Conan. I've tried it on another piece, and I just wanted to show you this. So I took this, and this is from another statue, not available anymore. This is long out of production. But this particular piece is just like a rock here that's been broken apart, and we've got some tentacles coming out of it. And so what I did is I took this, and I'm using this as my little dummy for our paint process here, just to check, make sure I'm getting the colors that I want. And it turned out really well. I really like the colors here that I got. So I painted this the same base color that I used for the base of the Conan. So his boots and the base and all that kind of stuff. So that kind of more of a golden, bronzy look, not so much red. And then I added to that my mixture of my little slurry that I made of these three colors. And so I'm hoping that you're seeing some of the details there of that, especially like on the tentacles here. I'm going to spin this around a little bit so you can see the other side. Because it does change depending on which side you're looking at there. So you get some cool, interesting effects, and it really does. I mean, to me, it looks like an aged piece of bronze. That stuff really does look like that green patina that you'll find on all these statues that we see in the parks and in museums and things like that. So it ends up being a really nice effect. So that's what I'm going to use. So in the next coming videos here, you'll see me, maybe I'll get a shot of me applying this, although that's not very spectacular. It's just a green slurry going on, and then you have to wait for it to dry anyway so that you can remove some of it. Now, in this case, with this one, the mixture I mixed up was so thin that I really didn't have to go back in and remove it. I guess I could have, let's say here on this tentacle, if I really wanted that area, because it is so exposed. Maybe that would be a place that it would get rubbed a lot, maybe get brushed up against in the museum or something like that. So I could go back in and wash that off and take it right back down to the really bright bronzy color. And, I can always do that at a later time. The cool thing about these acrylics is that when you put them down, yes, they do dry, and it takes some relatively short amount of time to dry. You can start working with them right away, but you can also just use something like water, maybe a little bit of alcohol in it to cut that right back off of there. Now, the one thing you do have to be mindful of is that, well, all the other colors underneath are acrylic as well. So before Conan goes under the wash here, he is going to go under the airbrush station over there and get coated with a lacquer-based clear coat. And then all of this stuff will be applied to him. So that's it. That's going to be my mixture for my patina. And in the coming videos, you'll see how that works out.